Let's start by talking about evolution. According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, evolution is a theory that the difference between modern plants and animals are because of a change that happened by a natural process over a long time. This isn't exactly the definition I would use, but considering the circumstances, it works. I'd also look at it on Urban Dictionary, but due to the fact that it's called Urban Dictionary and because of its unshakable reputation, I refrain from doing so due to the fact that it is, well, Urban Dictionary. The Merriam-Webster dictionary definition actually works pretty well due to the keyword differences. Evolution basically comprises of two main factors. The first is resources, which is shelter and food. The other is genetics. Resources can create a stage of evolution if a species has good resources, which therefore can make them change their genetics because of variety from sexual reproduction and mutation, which can therefore make evolution, which is therefore change. Resources plus change therefore makes individual characteristics. For example, there was a species of lizard. The emphasis on was due to the fact that it is now two because of its environmental shift which caused half of them to live in the sun, the other in a cave. The species that was in the sun had no change in traits due to the fact that that was their original environment and they did not have to readapt to it. This meant that they kept all their previous traits, such as good eyesight for preservation and also being tan from being in the sun. However, the species that was in the cave developed differently due to the fact that their environment had changed. For example, their eyesight started to dim due to the fact of lack of usage. Also, they became pale from lack of exposure and developed echolocation, which is basically me in the winter without the echolocation. Nothing we've seen in this Jurassic has happened to humans, unless you count vampires, but that doesn't really count considering they're not real. If you've taken a basic global history class, then you understand that the Neolithic Revolution occurred when humans started to learn how to farm, which there created a surplus of food, a surplus of resources, and therefore a surge in population, which they also became sedentary, but that's not really important here. A surplus of population therefore created a variety of characteristics of individuals, and therefore there was less of survival of the fittest, sorry Darwin, which therefore made society. Societies had a different way of survival of the fittest, which wasn't as literal. They created hierarchies, which therefore made social pyramids, which therefore were also high school cliques. For example, there was the jocks, cheerleaders, principal, teacher, nerds, and then if this was a Disney movie, that's me at the bottom crushing on that jock that is not a total airhead, probably has great hair, and his name is probably something along the lines of Josh, Brandon, or Lucius, but not Lucius because that's the wrong kind of film. Actually, let's talk about Lucius Malfoy for a minute, because Lucius Malfoy is what we call an alpha, which is the top dog of society. He has lots of money, which is resources. He has also pure blood, which is genetics, which therefore makes him alpha, which is top dog. Yay, but he's also a jerk. Then we have the lesser, which is the omegas, which are lesser resources, lesser genetics, which together then make lesser status in society, which is therefore underdogs. But now here's the problem. Because of this, in different societies, the past, we needed different things. We had warriors, but now we don't need warriors anymore. We need innovative minds, which can also come from alphas, or omegas. But because alphas are already in power, they are already in control and are theoretically the drivers. Omegas are in the back with, well, not much. Any kind of struggle for equality that has happened is basically an omega group. There have been racial struggles, there have been struggles of sex, and there have also been the struggles of the LGBTQ community, all of which have been omega struggles as they fight to gain power in their societies. Alphas and omegas have a very strange relationship because alphas have power, money, voice, influence. Omegas have not much innovation, but still not much. The main thing is, the world needs different minds to work together. Temple Grandin.